Swamiye Sharanamayappa. History of Sabarimala Temple. It is believed that Sabarimala Temple was founded by Lord Parshuram. It is situated in the middle of the Periyar Tiger Reserve in the Western Ghat Ranges. Ayyappa is believed to be the combined form of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. King Rajashekara Pandyan, Ayyappa's foster father, found the real path to the temple in the 12th century AD. In the later years, the temple was burned multiple times. No one knows whether the fire occurred naturally or someone burnt it. And one of the main reasons for this huge fire was that the roof of the temple was covered with dry grass and hay. And with the roof collapsing in fire, caused severe damage to the idol as well. In 1899, the temple was prone to fire and was totally destroyed. During that time, Travancore state was ruled by Moolam Tirunal. It is said that fire from lighted lamp in the temple can be the cause of fire in the temple. There was no doubt of a conspiracy because no one was around near the temple when that incident happened. And it is very much impossible for someone to set the temple on fire that is situated in the middle of dense forest during night time. So the chances of a conspiracy was completely ruled out. So Moolam Tirunal, the ruler of Travancore, wanted to rebuild the temple as soon as possible. The main challenge he faced was to find a contractor who was willing to rebuild the temple. No one came up because of the position of the temple where it was situated. The temple was inside of a dense forest with wild animals and no proper roads or pathways. The only way to reach the temple was through the jungle. Transportation of raw materials and staying in the wild till the work is done induced fear in the contractors and workers. You should be thinking of that time when technology was not that advanced and communication was not possible from that dense forest to outside world unless somebody has to convey it man to man. The one contractor who took the challenge and was ready to reconstruct the temple was Polachirakal Kochuman, who was from a Christian family. He chose his usual workers for the task, but they were unwilling to go to the forest for the construction work. And without workers, how this task is gonna be done? That was the first challenge for Kochuman. Raja Ramayar of Mavelikara suggested a solution. Why don't we build the temple in small parts in a different place and then later assemble them in Sabarimala? So, based on that idea, in 1903, the work started in Kottukulangara Palace in Kollam. Initially, they started by building roof of the temple. They used copper as outer lining of the roof and inner part was made with brass. Once the work of roof was completed, ruler Moolam Tirunal did the inspection and once he confirmed, the roof was dismantled to smaller parts. The next challenge was the transportation of these parts to Sabarimala. It was impossible to get these parts from Kottukulangara Palace to Sabarimala by road. So, they decided to transport these parts through the river to a nearer spot to Sabarimala. From Palace, the workers carried these parts to the nearest river and by boat they transported these parts till Kodimada in Kottayam. From Kodimada, it is again a long journey to Sabarimala. With the help of 500 workers, they carried these parts from Kodimada to Sabarimala through the forest. There was no proper path, so they had to make a path on the go. It took them 4 months to reach Sabarimala. The workers started their work by building a strong basement with hard rocks. Later, they erected the stone pillars and then started the carpentry work. It was at this time contractor Kochuman got affected with malaria. The workers carried him back to his home in Mavelikara through the same jungle path that they cleared. But the efforts were futile as Kochuman lost his life. Not so later. The work of the temple stunned. But Kochuman's wife Akama didn't give up. She wanted this work of the temple to be completed somehow. She requested one of her relatives, Vadake Talakel Sakaria Katanar, to take up this work and get this completed. He accepted this request wholeheartedly and started the work. In 1909, the work of the temple was completed and rituals of Mandala Puja also started in the same year. Later, in 1950, that shocking news came again. Sabarimala temple was burned. This time, there was no chance of a lamp fire blaze or a natural disaster. It was as if someone has purposefully burned it. At that time, India was a democracy and the state of Kerala was not formed. The Sabarimala temple was in the province of state Tirukkochi, and the chief minister of Tirukkochi at that time was T.K. Narayana Pillai. For investigating the case, chief minister entails a brilliant DIG, Keshava Menon, at that time. It took him 7 years to submit a report on the issue. We should consider the fact that there was no technological support for the officer at that time. There was no CCTV, no mobile phones, nothing. He had to personally meet the tribal people of the area and whoever had the chance of being near that area at the time of the incident. So finally, when he submitted the report on 1957, there was not even the state of Tirukkochi. By the time the state of Kerala was formed and the chief minister at that time was EMS Namboodiripadu and the home minister was V.R. Krishnaiyer. V.R. Krishnaiyer took this report seriously and presented this report in the legislature, which started a burning discussion on this issue by the opposition. The report was pointing fingers towards some prominent Christian families of Pala, Kottayam. Since there was not enough proof to confirm this and the report was mostly based on the conversation with the locals, the government classified this report and is in the police archives till date and is not available to the public. The case was put on a halt and no one was arrested based on this report. The government initiated all necessary measures and completed the construction of the temple. But still, the path to Sabarimala was very difficult. Further improvement in the jungle path to Sabarimala came after 1962, when V.V. Giri was the governor of Kerala. He initiated the projects that later led to the clear pathways and buildings for stay in Sabarimala. And one more thing to add to the idol of Ayyappa in Sabarimala temple. The idol in the temple was too severed in the fire of 1950. It was impossible to make a mold out of it. So the temple priest along with others contacted Travancore royal family. The queen Amma Maharani asked her son Martanda Varma to show them the silver idol of Ayyappa in their puja that was similar to the old idol in Sabarimala. The temple authorities made a sketch of the idol and made a Panjaloha Vigraha that was dedicated in Sabarimala in 1951. This is the idol that we can still see in Sabarimala temple. That is how the Sabarimala temple that we see today came to be, and this is the history of Sabarimala temple. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe for more. Swami Sharanamayyappa.